Remember when me and you used to room together?
Yeah, I do, Waylon. About 12 years ago, 13.
Was that long ago?
I believe it was.
I tell you, this guy is the sloppiest housekeeper in the world.
That's right.
But he's a pretty good cook. And he wore black when he cooked, too. But he's been a good friend and still is.
So have you, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah. I always wanted to sing a song about prisons with you.
Really? Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Well, it ain't a-raining back home. I bet your sister's still on the phone. I bet mama's in the kitchen cooking fried chicken, wishing that I hadn't done wrong.
Oh, but don't you worry about it none, though, Mama. Everything's gonna be all right, Mama. They're teaching us a lot of new things in here. Things like, there ain't no good in an evil-hearted woman, and I ain't cut out to be no Jessie J. And he don't go writing hot checks down in Mississippi, and there ain't no good change in it. Reading yesterday's mail, wishing that the hay was all baled. I bet he's wishing we could go fishing. Here I am a-laying in jail. Oh, but Papa, don't you worry about it now. Everything's gonna be all right. They're teaching us a lesson a day, and we're learning pretty well, too. We already learned a whole lot of stuff already. Stuff like, there ain't no good in an evil-hearted woman, and I ain't cut out to be no Jessie J. And you don't go writing hot checks down in Mississippi, and there ain't no good change. There ain't no good in an evil-hearted woman, and I ain't cut out to be no Jessie J. And you don't go writing hot checks down in Mississippi, and there ain't no good chain gang. And you don't go writing hot checks down in Mississippi, and there ain't no good chain gang. Chet Atkins. Hey, Chet. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Johnny. I'm happy to be here representing the many musicians of Local 257 here in Nashville, who are very happy to have you as one of their members, and they want to present you with this plaque.
Well, thank you very much.
And I'd like to read it to you. I'll need these first.
Okay.
To Johnny Cash, in recognition and appreciation of 25 years of professional musicianship and loyalty to the American Federations of Musicians and Local 257, Nashville, Tennessee, and it's signed by our president, Johnny D. George, and Dutch Gordon, the Secretary-Treasurer. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chet.
Good.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you being out with us. Chet Atkins.
You're right.
Thank you very much. Chet Atkins and Waylon Jennings, two of the people in my life that I've been most fortunate to know. You know, in a quarter of a century, I've sung about railroads, and I've sung about prisons, and I've sung about America. If you get the feeling that you're in an old deserted building, you are. I guess you could almost call it a shrine. The official name is the Ryman Auditorium, but America knew it as the Grand Ole Opry. From the time that music first takes hold of a country boy, he dreams of the day when he and his music can come to Nashville. For me, that dream was to someday stand on this stage, and that dream came true. I stood where Hank Williams had stood, and Tex Ritter, and Roy Acuff, and Red Foley.
With its stained glass windows and benches, it's been called the Mother Church of country music. I can tell you, it's really a thrill to be back here tonight. This old place is American as apple pie. And so is this song I'd like to do for you. I walked through a county courthouse square, and on a park bench, an old man was sitting there. I said, "Your old courthouse is kind of run down." He said, "No, it'll do for our little town." I said, "Your old flagpole's kind of leaned a little bit, and that's a ragged old flag you got hanging on it." He said, "Have a seat," and I sat down. "Is this the first time you've come to our little town?" I said, "I think it is." He said, "I don't like to brag, but we're kind of proud of that ragged old flag." You see, we got a little hole in that flag there when Washington took it across the Delaware. And it got powder burned the night Francis Scott Key sat up watching it writing, "Say, can you see?" And it got a little rip in New Orleans with Pakenham and Jackson tugging at its seams. And it almost fell at the Alamo beside the Texas flag, but she waved on, though. It got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville, got cut again at Shiloh Hill. There was Robert E. Lee, Beauregard, and Bragg, and the south wind blew hard on that ragged old flag. On Flanders Field in World War I, she took a bad hole from a Bertha gun. She turned blood red in World War II. She hung limp and low by the time that one was through. She was in Korea, Vietnam. She went where she was sent by her Uncle Sam. She waved from our ships upon the briny foam, and now we've about quit waving her back here at home. And in her own good land here, she's been abused, she's been burned, dishonored, denied, refused, and now the very government for which she stands is scandalized throughout the land. And she's getting threadbare, and she's wearing kind of thin. But she's in good shape for the shape she's in. Because she's been through the fire before, and she can take a whole lot more. So we raise her up every morning, and we bring her down slowly every night. We don't let her touch the ground, and we fold her up right. On second thought, I guess I do like to brag, because I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag.
Chris Christopherson.
John, I wanted to come back out at this point in the show to remind the people out there of one highlight in Johnny Cash's career that you might be a little reluctant to discuss.
Oh, really? Dare I ask what it might be?
It's not one of those horror stories of the old days. No, it was the 1969 Country Music Association Awards. And I got to say, Hoss, you cleaned the decks on that one.
Over and under sit with you, Johnny Cash and Gene Carter. Would you believe? One of my best friends, a guy I done my first tour with, Mr. Johnny Cash.
More vocalist of the year, Johnny Cash.
Quarry NC.
Johnny Cash.
Well, my daddy left home when I was 3. Didn't leave very much for my mom and me. Just this old guitar and an empty bottle of booze.